All right, let's dive right in. Today we're exploring a dark, really scholarly reinterpretation of a story you think you know. We're going way beyond the nursery window and straight into a gothic nightmare, a place where the promise of eternal youth is actually the ultimate damnation.
Yeah, right off the bat, this analysis is telling us to throw out everything we remember from the storybooks. That second star to the right, it doesn't lead to some magical paradise, it leads straight to a stagnant, horrifying philosophical experiment.
And this, right here, is the absolute heart of it. Nevermore, which is also called the Isle of Misery and Madness, isn't some fun adventureland. No, it's a metaphysical trap. It's a kind of alchemical engine, meticulously designed to prove one terrible thing, the complete and utter futility of human existence.
So, you have to wonder, how is a prison like this even built? What is powering this horrifying stasis? Well, to really get Nevermore, you have to start with its foundations, what this analysis calls the architecture of damnation itself.
You see, the island isn't natural at all. It was painstakingly designed, piece by piece, by a fallen angel, with the single goal of stopping all progress, all evolution, all grace. Think about that. Every rock, every tree is part of a grand argument that life, in its natural, warm, messy form, is fundamentally flawed.
And at the very heart of this prison is something called the Chronostone. Now, this is not some simple magic charm. It's a piece of forbidden, celestial technology. Its entire purpose is to literally stop time, creating this sterile, digital-like eternity where nothing is truly real and everything is just locked in a permanent state of twilight and decay.
And this gets to the core sin behind the whole operation, Hochmut. It's a German word, and it means hubris. You know, that profound, bone-deep arrogance that makes you think you can create something better than nature's divine design, a kind of cold, crystalline perfection.
So what's the end result? Well, it's the spiritual consequence that's truly terrifying. By freezing time, Nevermore completely denies any possibility of growth or redemption or meaning. It's a sterile, heartless existence that trades away what this text calls the warm, messy evolution of grace.
But of course, a perfect prison needs prisoners. So now let's look at the horrifying alchemical process that actually populates this realm. The thing is, this transformation doesn't even happen on the island itself. It happens in this kind of metaphysical laboratory called the Zwischenwelt, the in-between world. It's a liminal space where children are, quite literally, systematically unmade.
To even get there, you have to make a willing bargain. You have children, desperate to escape mortality, who have to agree to give up everything. And I mean everything that makes them human. Their memories, their feelings, and their flight, it's not powered by happy thoughts. Oh no. It's powered by a gruesome Faustian unguent, a salve made from the fat of unbaptized infants. It's magic fueled by sheer atrocity.
Once that pact is made, a clinical, three-step transformation begins. First, the environment itself just methodically strips away their history, their suffering. Then, that erasure of individuality reduces them to nothing more than biological shells. And finally, they reach their final terrible state. They become a homunculi, artificial life. The Lost Boys aren't children anymore. They're just hollow echoes. They're described as a Greek chorus of the damned, and their vacant existence is all the proof needed that the prison's horrifying experiment is a success. So who in the world would create a place like this? Who are the architects behind all this damnation? Okay, let's peel back that final layer and actually meet the jailers. Turns out, Nevermore isn't the work of just one entity. No, it's a collaborative project, a terrifying synergy between three incredibly powerful beings. And together, they represent the three pillars of this damnation. First up is Peter Pan. And you need to forget the playful boy. In this analysis, he's an ancient, predatory entity called the Eternal Page. He's a little Mephistopheles of the nursery, and his flute plays frequencies that tap right into the desire for unreason, luring children away.
Next, we have Samyaza, the architect. He's a fallen angel known as the Black Woodsman. He is the jailer. He represents this sort of intellectual fall from grace, providing the profane science and the chronostone needed to construct the realm itself.
And finally, we have the true mastermind behind it all, Iblis, the Prince of Ice. He's the grand accuser, the philosopher who proposed the wager in the first place, a bet that humanity, if given the choice, would always prove itself unworthy of grace. Nevermore is his grand experiment to prove his point. And together, they are a perfect, horrifying Faustian synergy. You have Iblis providing the prideful, philosophical justification. Samyaza brings the forbidden knowledge and the technical means. And Peter, well, Peter is the agent in the field, the one who executes the plan and harvests the soul.
All of this brings us to the very core of this abyss, because that central promise of Nevermore, eternal youth, is finally revealed for what it truly is, its most profound and nihilistic curse. Just look at this stark contrast. The promise? It's an escape from boredom, from pain, from all mortal banality. But the reality, it's a predatory existence. It's a stagnant horror with no meaning, no growth. And maybe worst of all, it's the denial of the mercy of a natural end. Eternal youth isn't a gift here, it's a life sentence.
And if you need the ultimate proof of this curse, look no farther than Captain Hook. See, in this reading, he's not a villain, not really. He's a damned scholar, a tragic intellectual, kind of like a Dr. Faustus. He's a prisoner who sees the trap for exactly what it is. He hunts Peter not for simple revenge, but because he desperately craves the one thing Peter, his tormentor, will never ever grant him: death.
So here's the crucial takeaway. The entire realm, every single lost soul, every frozen moment, it all exists to prove Iblis's argument. Nevermore is his ultimate victory. It's his exquisite, terrible proof that humanity will trade the meaningful struggle of life for the meaningless horror of a static, perfect non-life.
And that leaves us with a really chilling question to ponder. If you were faced with the hardships and the pain of a real life, would you be tempted by the promise of a perfect, unchanging, and ultimately empty eternity? It's a choice, isn't it, between the warmth of messy grace and the cold of crystalline perfection.